Chapter 14, Lesson 4. So we have 741 divided by 19. Now these are going to be a little bit more difficult than Lesson 4 because we can't look at the 1 going into the 7 or the 74 like we did in Lesson 3. So we have to play around with some numbers. We have to try to see how many times 19 can go into 74. So I take 19, I just pick a random number. I'm going to try 4. 9 times 4 is 36. So 76. That is too big, so that won't work. So I'll try 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 57. So that looks a little bit better. 4 was too big, so I go 1 down with 3, and I get 57. Again, 19 is not going into 7. So I don't want to put the number there. 19 is going into 74. 3 times. And my answer, I get 17. Press that out, we get 6. Then you got to bring down your 1. So now I got 19, or 171 divided by 19. Now this is a bigger number, so I have to play with some numbers that are bigger than the 3 and the 4. I'm going to try 7. 9 times 7 is 63. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 6 is 133. That's kind of small. Let me try 9. 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 8 is 17. So 9 works perfectly. So my answer would be 39. Again, you can check these answers. It takes a little bit longer, but at least if you double check it, you'll know you got it right. 9 times 9, you're going to multiply the 19 times the 39. So 9 times 9 is 81. 8 times 3 is 27. Plus 8 is 35. Place your 0. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. 14, carry the 1, 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I get 741, and that matches what I started out with, 741. Again, it does take a bit longer, but if you double check it, you'll know you got it right. Next we have 848 divided by 16. One way you can do it is use the estimation that we did back in Lesson 2, where we made this a 20, and we made this 800, because then we know that 2 can go into 8 4 times. So that's one way you can look at it. (16 times 4) 64. I'm going to try 5. 16 times 5 is 80. So it looks like 80 would work a lot better than 64. So again, 16 does not go into 8. 16 goes into 84 5 times. Bring down the 8. So now we got to look at, we know that 16 times 4 is 64. So that's going to be too much. So I'm going to try 16 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 48. So my answer would be 53. Now 124 divided by 16. Again, I'm going to play with some numbers. 16 times 3 we just did. We got 48. It's not going to work, so it's going to have to be a bigger number. Let's see, try 6. 36. It's 96. Still kind of small. Let me try 7. 112. So I know 6 is not going to work. Let me try 16 times 8. So 16 times 8 is 128. That's way too big for that one. So 3 would be the, or 7 would be the correct choice. Again, 16 does not go into 1 or 12. It goes into 124. So your number has to go above that 4. So I'm going to have a remainder of 12, which of course we don't want remainders. So we have to add a decimal point into 0 and bring it down. So 16 times 9, that should be too big. Well, we have to use 7 again because we use 7 for 124, and this is 120, which is smaller. So we have a remainder of 8, which means we need to add a 0. Bring it down. 16 into 80. Try 5 because I know 6 times 5 is 30, and I get a 0 right there. And it comes out evenly. 16 times 5 equals 80. And the answer is 0. So your answer would be 7.75. Let's look at some of your homework problems. Now for this lesson you're doing 1 through 6. You don't have to do any of those problems, just 1 through 6. Let's take a look at number 2. 14.4 divided by 0.6. So I move my decimal point over 1, so it's just going to be 6. Move this one over 1, so it's going to be 144. Okay, so I want to see how many times 6 can go into 14, which is going to be 2 times. But 6 is not going into 1 or 14, it's going into 144. Actually, I'm sorry about that. It is going into 14, 2 times. And then 6 into 24 goes 4 times. So your answer would be 24. Number 5, you got 15.6 divided by 6.5. First thing I do is move my decimal. So that's going to move over to my right, and that's going to be 65. And 15.6, decimal is going to move over to the right. It's going to be 156. So now I'm looking at 6. How many times can 6 go into 15? Of course, the answer is 2. So I'm not putting it there. 65 does not go into 1. 65 does not go into 15. 65 goes into 156. So 6 into 15 goes 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Got to add a decimal point and a 0. Now I have 260. So now I want to see how many times can 6 go into 24. It can go into 26 4 times because 6 times 4 is 24. Five times 4 is 20, carry my 2. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2 is 26. So my answer is going to be 2.4. That's all you have to do. Just take your time, move everything over you need to, and make sure you put the numbers in the right spot.